Right.media. And we're on the SWOSU Coaches Show this week. We're opening up the program with head football coach Josh Kirkland. And Coach, thanks for the visit as we are into what we call spring ball, spring practice. So it is here. It has arrived, and you guys have it all cranked up and rocking and rolling.
Yes, sir. We're out there getting after it. Got another one today. And I was saying a while ago it's going to be a little chilly today. But that's all right. We'll get out there and sling it around and get after each other.
Talk a little bit about the spring practice so far. You started on Sunday. What are you focusing on most when you're in spring practice?
Yeah, so the biggest thing I told the players, there's not really it's hard to set like an end goal because you're going against yourself every day. So you don't want the offense to score every time they touch it. You don't want the defense to get stops every time they touch it because that means you're lopsided one way or another. The biggest thing I told them is when I turned on tape from Sunday, March the 20th, and I look at tape, April the 14th during our spring game, that I need to see every position just being a whole lot better. I mean, that's the goal, is that we get 16 of these, and our goal is to be a lot better after practice 16 than we were at practice 1. And so we kind of take it one practice at a time and trying to focus and get better every day.
What about conditioning? Is that something you focus on in spring practice as well, or does that come later?
Yeah, so before we got started, we've been doing a lot of conditioning stuff as we were getting ready, and then even during spring ball, we're still got runs twice a week, and then we practice at such a lightning pace that it's going to build their conditioning. I think in the middle of practice yesterday, we had a couple kids getting a little sick just from the pace of the way practice was going, besides just the conditioning part. And so it's important that we're in shape. I mean, if we want to be a fast-paced offense and really a fast-paced team, we've got to be in great shape as well.
Kind of remind Bulldog fans, if you would, what basically could they expect as far as number of plays offensively a game when we're talking about fast pace?
Yeah, we try to be between 90 and 100. I think last year we averaged 94 snaps a game, led the country in first down. So, it's not necessarily taking big shot plays over and over. It's we do like to run the football, but we do it at a pace that's kind of unmatched. And so I think it's new to some of the coaches that were here before I got here, especially on the defensive side of the ball, just how fast we actually go during practice as well.
What have you seen out of your team in the first couple of days of spring practice that you really like so far?
Yeah, so I love the way we compete. Even that first day in helmet, shorts, and a t-shirt. I mean, just the competitiveness from each kid has been great. Something that I came in here and wanted to make sure that we exemplified, and that's who I am. I like to compete in everything that I do, and so I love the way we got out there and competed and got after each other. On both sides of the ball, and so that was one thing that I thought was really good. And then, sorry, my phone's going off on me. And then I thought, we did some really good things just offensively and defensively. Coach McCoy dialed up some blitzes that were good to see. Even on day one, just seeing them get home to our quarterback, and then vice versa on the other side of the ball. I thought our quarterbacks are playing really well right now. Understanding the offense for it to be really early, and really putting guys in good places to let us have success.
You mentioned that the spring game will be on April 14th. Talk a little bit about what you expect to see out of that spring game and kind of maybe the format of what it will look like if Bulldog fans come out and watch.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's at 7:00 Thursday night, so I think we'll have a lot of students, a lot of people out for that. We're tying it with a junior day that's happening that day as well. So we have 153 high school kids that are already signed up to come that day. that want to be at the game and tour campus that morning and all kinds of different things. So I think there's gonna be a lot of energy, a lot of things going on. I haven't quite decided, but what I'm leaning towards, I think I'm going to let I'm going to break the coaches up on each on a team, kind of offense and defensively. Not where they're mixed up, where I've got offense and defensive coaches together, and we're going to have a draft and let them draft their teams and kind of build from that. That's my guess. I think it'll be a lot of fun that night.
All right. Head coach Josh Kirkland, thanks for the visit. And I know it's going to be exciting as you go through the spring practice process. You get into the summer, and, before you know it, you're going to be in fall in the blink of an eye.
I can't wait.
No, well, we can't wait either. And we look forward to seeing the product on the field this fall.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Josh Kirkland with us on the SWOSU Coaches Show. We're back with more in a moment.
When you are making decisions as important as choosing home health or hospice for a loved one, it's important to ask the right questions. Is the facility locally owned? Are they proven through years of successful business practices? If necessary, can you transition from home health to hospice with the same care given? You can find all this and more at your locally owned Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice has served Clinton and the surrounding areas for over 15 years. Dependable, caring, and local. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. Pioneer Cellular has the best coverage in Western Oklahoma. See the Pioneer Cellular store nearest you or visit gopioneer.com.
There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, keeping your energy prices steady and affordable. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO. There's a new energy in Oklahoma, wind and natural gas working together, creating jobs and more money for communities and schools. Clean, affordable, natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO.
Weatherford Regional Hospital is committed to serving Western Oklahoma with the best facilities, technologies, and employees. Everything from the convenient care clinic to the highly trained oncology department to the top-of-the-line mammography and x-ray equipment, down to the women's center, nursery, and emergency room. Weatherford Regional Hospital strives to provide you with a safe, clean, comfortable environment. Give them a call today or check them out online at weatherfordhospital.com.
Need your oil and filter changed? Take your vehicle to CJ Southwest Tire in Weatherford. There is no appointment needed. Bring your car, truck, or diesel in today. You can wait in the comfort of their smoke-free lounge while experienced technicians change your oil and filter on your vehicle. CJ Southwest Tire on the corner of Main and Kansas in Weatherford. Your Bridgestone and Firestone dealer. CJ Southwest Tire. See them on Facebook and at cjsouthwesttire.com.
Back on the SWOSU Coaches Show, I'm Mike Smith, and in this segment we're joined by the head baseball coach for the SWOSU Bulldogs, Zack Saunders. And Coach, always glad to have you aboard and talk some SWOSU baseball.
Mike, likewise, always appreciate the time and looking forward to it.
11-14 overall, Coach, as you go into this week, 6-9 in conference play. Just if you would take a moment, size up the season for us so far.
Yeah, I think if you went back to our first interview there at the beginning of the season, it's probably playing itself out a little bit. You know, we start talking about who we've had and teams we've had and just that gauntlet of what February was going to be. And so I think we wish it would have been a little bit better through the month of February. I thought we started pretty good. And even going on the road to Arkansas, Monticello, finding a way to win 2 or 3 there. But I think when you have 2 good quality teams in Southern Ark and Oklahoma Baptist, you got to find a way to grab a game, you know, from each one of those groups. And we weren't able to do that. And so, you know, it just puts you in a tough spot. You know, obviously we got back on track with Southern Ass coming to our place, you know, getting 3 wins there, but felt like we gave one away there to Ouachita. Coach Howard does a really good job there and is really turning a program in the right direction. And so, but you felt like you were right there in the hunt in that 7-inning ball game there on Saturday to grab, you know, 2 or 3 again on the road, which is really big, you know, to win 2 of the 3, I think at a long trip like that, I think are big, especially for against quality opponents like they are. But our bullpen it didn't do its job, and just kind of got away from us. We scored runs, we just weren't able to keep them from scoring. So yeah, it's definitely not the start we wanted. I think baseball's so weird in the fact that I think if you just look at it for what it is, like, oh man, it's not going good. But there's 50 games. We're at 25 right now, and it's what you keep trying to tell the boys is, hey, we're 25 games in. Like, can be a whole different 25 for the rest of the way. And feel like we've got some good matchups for us. Obviously, Henderson's going to be a lot coming in this weekend, but feel like getting those guys away from their home field where they play so good and play so clean. But getting them here in Weatherford, we like. And then just trying to piece it together. You go on the road to East Central and hopefully you can win a series. And all of a sudden you look up and, if you can get back to that 500 mark, I think we can really start, moving some good directions come April and put ourselves in a good spot for a playoff run.
Kind of hit a rough patch there for a spell of about 7 or 8 games, Coach. Do you feel like you got the ship righted right now?
Yeah, we're still grinding through it. I don't know that you can say it's righted. During that stretch where it wasn't going really good, the kid that we've probably been talking about all year, in Zach Baxley, had a collision there at home plate at Oklahoma Baptist right there in the middle of that series, and had a fracture to his face. And we're hoping to get him back at some point, and even looking at what are the possibilities for him if we can't, and all of those things. But had a plate put in last week. And he's your heartbeat. Him and Miko Soto are our guys that kind of they drive us. And so I think it just took a little wind out of our sails, and you try to regroup at that point. And I felt like we did the next week at Southern Naz, but you could still feel like there's some after effects, I think, from our group. But yeah, I think it's just understanding who we are at this point. Not talk about coulda, shoulda, woulda, and what if this didn't happen, and what if we had this person back, and just try to make the most of who we are at this point, be really tough, and try to go grab series one after another.
Enzo Bonventry, pretty good series against Ouachita Baptist. Also was the male Bulldog of the week this week.
Yeah, he had a good week. He's starting to really click, and I think if you've watched him play at all, he's an older guy. I think it's his 5th year in school, and so he's an older guy playing his last year with us, and we're just excited to have him. He's really starting to kind of catch a groove and get comfortable. I think it took him a while coming in at semester to try to figure out where he fit with our group, where he fit here in the team, and just kind of the role. And so I think he's kind of settled into that 6-7 role there in the lineup. And boy, he gives us a punch. When he runs into a ball, it usually goes a long ways, and some serious bat speed. And I think he's starting to figure out how everybody's trying to pitch him. And if he can give us a charge there, like he did this weekend, and even like he did against Southern Naz, man, it's going to be a fun stretch down the run with these guys. And just, I think with Enzo more than anything, you want it for those guys that this is their last ride. It's their last opportunity to play college baseball. And you want it so much for those 5th-year guys, him and Nate, and obviously with Zach going down, you want him to be able to come back and help. And but yeah, we're excited about Enzo for sure.
Talk a little bit about the matchup with UCO on Wednesday. It's a non-conference battle, but it's with an opponent you know about.
Yeah, it is. Coach Martin and I know each other well. Obviously, good friends, and play each other every year. And man, he does a good job. They're a talented group. They're very talented on the mound, and a very scrappy group at the plate, and do a lot of really good things. It seems like every year we're kind of battling each other for different players. And so you're really familiar with his roster and kind of what they're going to do. They're very fast and dynamic, but they've also got a couple guys like, the Takamatsu kid there that hits in the middle and catches for him, that does a really good job. He's probably one of the better hitters in the region, and he's going to make them go there, right there in the middle of their lineup. And so can you score early, I think, is going to be the good thing for us. We're going to have to find a way to have a lead early with them. Their bullpen usually gets pretty tough when you talk about those later innings with a lead. Not that you can't score runs, but, I think of the teams that we play, they're probably one of the best in that late inning, 7th, 8th, 9th inning, really set it up like you would in a big league ball game. They just run one guy out at a time, and it seems like they continue to get better as they come out of the bullpen. So for us, yeah, scoring early, trying to find a way to manufacture there right out of the gate. and it's going to be a beautiful Weatherford day tomorrow. So there's the other side of it. It's going to blow out of the north, I think, at 25 or 30, and the temp says it's supposed to be in the mid 50s, but we all know it's probably going to feel like 40 degrees out there. And I think just try to be tough and gritty, and try to find a way to scratch for some and get ourselves going in the right direction for the weekend.
Big weekend coming up, Coach. As I alluded to in the outset of the interview, 6-9 in conference play. Henderson State coming in for a 3-game series this weekend, and talk a little bit about the Reddies. What do you expect from them, and how big of a series is this? As you alluded to earlier in the interview, that here's an opportunity to get to 500 if you could sweep.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a big weekend. Cody does a really good job. Cody Hooten is their head coach, and they've continued to get better. And I think that's the fun part, when you talk about people that you enjoy playing against and coaches that do it the right way. Cody's one of those guys. And so they've continued to get better. They're extremely tough at home. Not that they're not tough on the road, but it's one of those people that, they're a handful there in Arkadelphia. And so to get those guys in Weatherford, off the turf and playing in kind of the elements that we have to play in here, not that they can't do it and they're not talented enough to do it, but you just hope that maybe you catch them off guard on that side of it. But also, you're right. I mean, it's an opportunity for us to get moving in the right direction. And you try not to really talk to them about we have to get back to it this weekend, but can you do it over a 2 and 3 series stretch? By the time that we've got Southeastern back at home in 3 weeks, can you be at that 500 mark and really kind of set your April up for what it could be? It's like last year, you try to explain to them, like, a year ago at 19-10 going into April, we felt really good about it and kind of turned the other way. So the opportunity is there to kind of flip-flop that. Maybe it's not going right early, but man, I'd rather be playing hot late than playing hot in March. We've done that plenty here, and played really good early and midway through the season, and then not finished very strong. So trying to kind of find a way to be that group late that really kind of gets into the tournament and is playing really good baseball, and just talking to them about building one day after another. And I think when we get out too far in front of us, you start looking at who's playing where and what everyone's record is and this and that. And it's just take care of today, take care of what, Henderson's going to be for us, and play really hard for this, and, win a series. If you have the opportunity to sweep, obviously you would want to do that. But I think it's just trying to go win game 1. And if you win game 1, like, all right, let's go win game 2. And then when game 2's over, then you worry about game 3. But the boys know, and it's no secret. You don't have to get them hyped up or, I think give rah-rah speeches about, hey, we can do this. They know what's out in front of them, and they understand who's coming to town, and they understand that they get another good opportunity the next week in Ada. And it's just about us preparing and being ready to go when we get here, and not being surprised by anything that they kind of throw at us, and kind of embracing the challenge of it's not always going to be easy. I think every year you're going to hit adversity at some point. For us, it's been a little bit early, and can you weather the storm and kind of get it turned and running downhill and playing some really good baseball at the right time.
All right, Head Coach Zack Saunders, good luck this week. And as always, we appreciate your time on the SWOSU Coaches Show, and let's go get some W's.
Mike, appreciate it. Thanks for what you do for us.
Thank you. No problem. Appreciate you, and good luck. We'll have more of the SWOSU Coaches Show coming up next.
When it's time to unwind, pick up a bottle of your favorite stuff at Butcher's Wine and Spirits in Weatherford. All the top brands at the absolute best price. From whiskey, bourbon, gin, and scotch to your favorite craft, import, or domestic beer, Butcher's has you covered. And when it comes to wine, Butcher's has the best selection in town. And don't forget to check out their sale rack with deep discounts. Butcher's Wine and Spirits on Main in Weatherford.
Your parents have always protected you and provided the best way they knew how. Now it's your turn to make sure that they are taken care of. Corn Heritage Village and Rehab of Corn and Weatherford is a community providing long-term and skilled nursing care to enhance the lives and meet the needs of individuals and families. Their mission is to provide the highest level of care for your loved ones. Visit them at cornheritage.org or find them on Facebook.
Energy makes every customer an owner of the business. Unlike other electric utilities, CK Energy exists to make sure your needs are always met, not to make a profit. And since CK Energy is locally owned and operated, CK Energy is always there with you, reinvesting in your community. That's why in an electric cooperative, the people have the power. Committed to our members and the communities we serve, that's part of the CK Energy commitment.
CK Energy, we light up your life.
On the corner of Custer and Main Street in Weatherford, More Than Medicine stands ready to fill your prescriptions in a fast, friendly, and professional way. They also offer an outstanding selection of gifts for people of all ages. Their Gold Crown Hallmark card selection is second to none, and More Than Medicine is the perfect place for a bridal registry. All this, that's why it's called More Than Medicine. Corner of Main and Custer in Weatherford. They're on call for you 24 hours a day.
We're back on the SWOSU Coaches Show as we talk softball this segment. We're joined by Kim Maher, head softball coach at SWOSU. And Coach, thanks for the visit.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
5-16 overall, but also 4-10 in the GAC. You've won the last couple of series in the GAC, so it sounds like that things are beginning to click a little bit now in the softball program.
I would like to think so, but there's always the chance that who's going to show up, I think just as a coach, you look back at some of the series, that Northwest, when we went out there to play, we should have been able to at least walk away with one. So I'm hoping the next go around we'll have a better showing against them at our field. Against Southern Nazarene, again, we should have been able to walk away with one or possibly two. We didn't. And, when you look at the end game, potentially those losses might prevent us from getting into the tournament.
Coach, you take a look at the play of Caitlin Delaney. She was Female Bulldog of the Week, and she had some really good play in the last series against Ouachita Baptist.
Yeah, Caitlin, she has a good stick. She's a freshman, so she's working through some kinks. Obviously, when you go to the next level, whether it's, out of JC, D2, D1, as a hitter, you have to make some adjustments, and you're going to be seeing pitches that move a little bit more. So I think she's progressing nicely. I hope she continues to progress nicely and have quality at bats.
Yeah, if memory serves me right, I think she was around 556 batting average in the 3 games against Ouachita Baptist. That's slugging it pretty good.
And it's not just that. It's when runners are in scoring position. She's finding a way to move those runners, which is important for us because we have to score runs in order to compete. So, there's one thing of getting hits when no one's on, but when runners are in scoring position, that's when you really need to clutch up and find a way to drive those runners across the plate.
How's the pitching staff coming along right now?
I'm waiting for the day that all 3 of them are on the same page. It just doesn't seem like all of them are on the same page. We have one that does really well one series, and so I try and start them the following series, and then the next one shows up. So pitching it's delicate. It's not just the physical aspect, but it's the mental aspect of pitching as well. Pitchers just need to understand they have to rely on their defense to get the job done, and for our offense to score runs. Once the ball leaves the pitcher's hand, it's up to the defense to make the plays, and our pitcher's job is to, nibble at the corners and spin the ball. So when hitters do put bat on ball, they're not squaring up and, launching it over the fence.
It's a pretty busy week, though, Coach. When you look at the schedule, you have Rogers State for a doubleheader Wednesday, and then you head to Henderson State for a weekend series with Lady Reddies in GAC play. So it's a pretty busy week.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to playing Rogers tomorrow. They're a very good team with quality pitching. So it'll be good for our kids to go up against them and prepare for Henderson. When we do go out to Henderson, again, we can't focus on what Henderson has done, but focus more on what we need to do in order to be successful at the end of the game and walk away with the W.
What do you expect
so that's
out
going to
of
be pitching and hitting.
I was going to say, what do you expect out of them? Yeah, out of Henderson, yes.
I think when you play certain teams, you're going to have to expect they're going to come out swinging. They're going to look at us, and they're going to be in the same situation of we need these games against Southwestern. We have to be able to pitch, play defense, and score runs. So, essentially we're all going to be expecting the same thing. I hope we can capitalize on their mistakes and, limit our mistakes to 0 to 1.
All right, sounds good. Head coach Kim Maher, thanks for the visit, and good luck this week as you hit the diamond once again, and hopefully you'll get some pretty nice weather to play in as well.
I think we will, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Kim Maher with us on the SWOSU Coaches Show. We're back with more in a moment.
When you are making decisions as important as choosing home health or hospice for a loved one, it's important to ask the right questions. Is the facility locally owned? Are they proven through years of successful business practices? If necessary, can you transition from home health to hospice with the same care given? You can find all this and more at your locally owned Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice has served Clinton and the surrounding areas for over 15 years. Dependable, caring, and local. Shepherd Home Health and Hospice. Pioneer Cellular has the best coverage in Western Oklahoma. See the Pioneer Cellular store nearest you or visit gopioneer.com.
There's a new energy in Oklahoma. Wind and natural gas working together, keeping your energy prices steady and affordable. Clean, affordable natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO. There's a new energy in Oklahoma. Wind and natural gas working together, creating jobs and more money for communities and schools. Clean, affordable natural gas and wind. Oklahoma's new energy from PSO.
Weatherford Regional Hospital is committed to serving Western Oklahoma with the best facilities, technologies, and employees. Everything from the convenient care clinic to the highly trained oncology department to the top-of-the-line mammography and x-ray equipment, down to the women's center, nursery, and emergency room. Weatherford Regional Hospital strives to provide you with a safe, clean, comfortable environment. Give them a call today or check them out online at weatherfordhospital.com.
Need your oil and filter changed? Take your vehicle to CJ Southwest Tire in Weatherford. There is no appointment needed. Bring your car, truck, or diesel in today. You can wait in the comfort of their smoke-free lounge while experienced technicians change your oil and filter on your vehicle. CJ Southwest Tire on the corner of Main and Kansas in Weatherford, your Bridgestone and Firestone dealer. CJ Southwest Tire. See them on Facebook and at cjsouthwesttire.com.
We're joined by track and field coach Jennifer Johnson in this segment. And Coach, thanks for the visit on the SWOSU Coaches Show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, it is spring sports time, and track and field gearing up and going right now. You have the GAC Indoor that took place up in Wichita, Kansas late last month, and then earlier this month, the Hendricks Invitational. If you would, maybe talk about some individual awards or some individual play from those participants for SWOSU track and field.
Yeah, our first two meets, we've already had multiple people surpass their personal best from last season. So starting off better than they ended last season is always makes for a hopeful season. We've had a thrower, Marley West. She hit personal best at the GAC Indoor. She had a personal best in shot put. And then at Hendricks, she turned around and had a personal best in discus. So she's one that's kind of climbing up there. Distance-wise, we had two girls beat times significantly from last year. Courtney Williams dropped her 1,500 down by about 10 seconds. And then we had a 5K that dropped from Giselle by 30 seconds, which is a pretty big, pretty significant improvement from where we ended off cross-country season even for her. So that was exciting to see. But we had a lot at Hendricks that were close, pretty much right at the times they ended at last year. So that's really exciting to see where that's going to go as the season gets later.
Coach, talk a little bit about maybe the areas that you believe you'll be most strong in throughout this season. What events?
The majority of our team are runners, so most of those runners are distance runners. So we're pretty heavy in the 800 and the 1500. So if we do succeed number-wise, that's where it will be, just plainly because we have more girls there. We do have a few in the distance events, the 5K. I think one girl will end up in the 10K for conference, and she's got a chance. Sadie Smith, I think she'll excel in the 10K once we get to some meets that have 10Ks. And then Jocelyn Shank with the steeple. Steeple is always a pretty exciting event to watch at any meet we go to. And she's been training pretty hard for it, and Abby Lewis has been training for the steeple. So that's something we might be able to snag some points in as well.
Coming up Friday, you'll head to the OBU Invitational in Shawnee, Oklahoma. What do you expect out of that particular meet?
I'm anxious to compete against some more of our conference teams. They didn't have a great turnout at the indoor meet, not near as many as we thought would be there. OBU usually has their outdoor meet is a pretty good pool from the Oklahoma schools in our conference that we haven't seen since cross country season. So hopefully they'll have a better turnout at their outdoor than they did the GAC indoor. As far as our conference teams go, it will be nice to see kind of how we stack up against them early.
What are you looking for throughout the rest of this season? Obviously, it's you've got about a handful, maybe 5 or 6 meets that you'll be going to yet. What areas do you look to improve on between now and the end of the year?
Just cutting down the times individually. As long as everybody individually is getting faster, I can't really ask for anything more than that. The throwers are throwing further as the season goes, and the runners are running faster. So really, our roster is pretty small this year, so we're really focusing on each individual and just making each individual better. That way, in years to come, when our roster grows, we'll already have that base of kind of working in the right direction.
All right. Well, sounds good. Good luck at the OBU Invitational on Friday. We wish the team much success throughout the season. Thanks for the visit on the SWOSU Coaches Show this week.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Jennifer Johnson with us on the SWOSU Coaches Show. We're back with more in a moment.
When it's time to unwind, pick up a bottle of your favorite stuff at Butcher's Wine and Spirits in Weatherford. All the top brands at the absolute best price. From whiskey, bourbon, gin, and scotch to your favorite craft, import, or domestic beer, Butcher's has you covered. And when it comes to wine, Butcher's has the best selection in town. And don't forget to check out their sale rack with deep discounts. Butcher's Wine and Spirits on Main in Weatherford.
Your parents have always protected you and provided the best way they knew how. Now it's your turn to make sure that they are taken care of. Corn Heritage Village and Rehab of Corn and Weatherford is a community providing long-term and skilled nursing care to enhance the lives and meet the needs of individuals and families. Their mission is to provide the highest level of care for your loved ones. Visit them at cornheritage.org or find them on Facebook.
CK Energy makes every customer an owner of the business. Unlike other electric utilities, CK Energy exists to make sure your needs are always met, not to make a profit. And since CK Energy is locally owned and operated, CK Energy is always there with you, reinvesting in your community. That's why in an electric cooperative, the people have the power. Committed to our members and the communities we serve, that's part of the CK Energy commitment.
CK Energy, we light up your life.
On the corner of Custer and Main Street in Weatherford, More Than Medicine stands ready to fill your prescriptions in a fast, friendly, and professional way. They also offer an outstanding selection of gifts for people of all ages. Their Gold Crown Hallmark card selection is second to none, and More Than Medicine is the perfect place for a bridal registry. All this, that's why it's called More Than Medicine. Corner of Main and Custer in Weatherford. They're on call for you 24 hours a day.
That concludes this week's edition of the SWOSU Coaches Show. Thanks to head football coach Josh Kirkland, also from baseball Zack Saunders, head softball coach Kim Maher, and also from track and field Jennifer Johnson for being our guest this week. I'm Mike Smith. Thanks for watching this week's edition of the SWOSU Coaches Show. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Right.media.